Whoa. Hey. All right, Josh, can you hold their head? Hey. Yeah, I discovered a problem. The beater always wants to go in.
Yeah.
But I think I can fix it.
Hey folks, Josh here, and you might know me as the steward of Rugged Ridge Forest, where we craft wood-fired, organic, pure Vermont maple syrup. You could try some for yourself by heading on over to ruggedridgeforest.com. Come and join us as we spread some manure with my friend Paul Ruta and his team of retired Amish percherons. On the right is Rocky, and on the left is Babe. They're both about 16.2 and probably 15 or 1600 pounds, and they were both broke on Amish farms. Rocky is a little bit older, and he was always probably the second horse on the hitch. He was never really a lead horse, but he's pretty good at following along and pulling his weight. Babe is wonderful. You might have seen her in some videos in the past being driven without even her lines, just solely on vocal command, and she's a really wonderful, smooth, and even horse. This is Paul's first time spreading manure with his team, and so we want to make sure that we introduce them slowly, get them a little bit tired before we introduce them to the work, and then once the beaters start turning and things start making noise, we really want to make sure that we can keep them calm, cool, collected, and under control. A good way to tire out your team is just with a simple wood scoot. A scoot doesn't have a center pole. It's just basically a sled held back by friction. But it basically gives the horses a good amount of resistance and allows you to kind of tire them out and get them used to going through the paces and what you're going to be expecting them to do throughout the day without any moving parts or anything to worry about. Also, that gentle resistance of the scoot will tire them out more than a wheeled vehicle will. So you can get them off to a good start and get them nice and calm and collected for when you're ready to hook them to your spreader.
Whoa. Josh, I kind of made a boo-boo. Like a couple days I came out with my fork cart and my wood wagon, and I was completely full of like all my gear. I took the left and I went right up that hill without warming them up. Get up there. I should have like done one lap around here, maybe out to the road, because within like 3 minutes of being harnessed, they were pulling for all they had. I don't get rain or anything, but what was I thinking, you know?
He breaks to that lope really quick and smooth.
Well, he'd be a good little horse to someone teaching some, easy, a good rider.
Well, I mean, Tatiana getting the opportunity to ride him, I mean, you were right, she doesn't need any other horse. That's a heck of a learner.
Yeah, he'll I'm pretty much changed a lot of my gear so that he can only easy. Whoa.
Oh, the brakes still work.
You know, so that like he doesn't pull ahead of him. Whoa. Get up. Oh. No, wait. I guess we go this way. Get G.
You gonna squeeze him through that gap?
No, I'm not gonna squeeze him. Get up there. Whoa. All right, you take Babe.
Okay.
Tire to that post.
So we're unclipping.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now that we've taken the edge off the team with the scoot, we're going to introduce them to the manure spreader before hitching them to it.
They certainly don't make them like they used to.
Let's see. You parked your car way up there. That's awesome.
I'm between the two cars. Huh.
1945.
So the back looks like it has a room for another bearing and another assembly.
Well, two more.
Oh, more agitators.
Yeah, and I don't.
Huh.
They're not problematic, but they rot out and rust. So it's a pretty short broadcast. But Randy used it for his hemp plants, liked it, and who knows, maybe I'll find one I mean, I can't imagine. This one seems like it would be a valuable paddle. Going. You have one, right? You have this,
Yeah.
and then you have.
No, just a single beater.
Right here, this is all you have?
But mine's, it's flatter paddled.
Mm-hmm.
So whereas this one's got the little rebars sticking out, mine's kind of more like a, looks like a agitator. But yeah, conceptually similar.
I repaired the tire with Gorilla Tape, see?
Oh wow.
Yeah,
That you did.
I put silicone in it, I put a clamp on it, and then I put the tape on it. And I think it'll be fine.
It looks pretty hard.
This one part here, Josh, I'm trying to find out. This is ready to fail.
The wheel bearing.
This one. The other side is good, but I talked to a guy today, but it's...
This sort of ragtag repair is pretty common amongst backwoods horsemen, but the silicone in the tire tube is going to prove to be ominous by the end of the day. Paul expertly hitched up the team, and we were ready to go. If you're more curious about the act of harnessing and hitching up a team, feel free to check out our other video, Harnessing a Team of Draft Horses, on the Rugged Ridge Forest channel.
Get up! Get up there!
This was a pretty bold move on Paul's part, and probably not one that I would recommend to somebody who isn't overly familiar with their horses or the act of manure spreading. Taking off, not sitting on the cart with the beaters engaged, created a lot of extra noise that might have surprised a wary or nervous horse. But as you can see, Paul is going to take the horses out and give them their first experience with the manure spreader without a heavy load in it, just so that they can hear the beaters and get used to how it pulls.
Make sure it's not spinning. Well, just take a few steps forward. The last thing I want to do is get caught in that. Just take a few steps forward. I want to make sure it's not spinning. All right, I'll hop on that. My health insurance, I had a debacle, so they canceled it on me today. They did. Over a penny.
What was the accident?
A check was a penny short. It was the first check. And so they never actually bound the coverage. They took my money for 4 months and then said since I didn't pay in full within 30 days, I was 1 penny short. They canceled my insurance.
On what? Everything or what?
Health.
Health insurance?
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Unbelievable is right. That's why I don't want the agitator spinning.
Get up there.
I might be a bit timid, but there's just so much that can go wrong when you're working with horses, and especially with equipment, that you want to take all the due diligence that you can to limit the amount of risks that you expose yourself to. When you're working with horses, you have 2 more brains, a lot more flesh, bone, and muscle than you'll ever deal with working with humans, and there's so much that can go wrong so quickly that you want to really consider what risks you're willing to expose yourself to and how much you trust the people and animals that you're entrusting your life to. So taking that extra moment to just ensure that the beaters weren't engaged was just one more step I'm trying to take to, end this day on a win. And as you can see, utilizing the Armstrong method, we've put half a load of manure into the back of the spreader. So this will be the horse's first time shaking out manure under load.
I'm going to put it in the middle and see what happens.
Sounds like a good spot to start. It is. It's going. Okay.
Manure spreaders tend to have 2 different unique actions that they perform simultaneously. One of them is the chain that pulls along the bottom of the floor. It pulls these bars across the floor of the spreader, pushing the whole load of manure back closer to the agitators. The other is the actual agitators, which spin around, and as that chain slowly advances that pile of manure into it, they then fling the manure out, spreading it hopefully nicely and evenly on your fields. Paul's spreader actually has a high, low, and medium gear that the floor chain can be driven at, and that means that it'll either feed the manure more quickly or more slowly into the agitators or the beaters. As you can see, he was experimenting and finding the sweet spot that works for his team.
Good hill stop.
It's always good practice to test your brakes and to stop your team and to make sure that they're responsive to a whoa. Also, having a heavy load behind you and working on a hill is difficult for the horses to stop, and a good team is only as strong as its brakes. And so stopping on the hill there and giving the horses a chance to hold back the weight and feel the weight of it was a really good practice for a long and safe career of spreading manure. Now that the team has demonstrated that they are safe and capable to spread manure, we heaped up the second load of manure a little bit taller and took it right out to the field.
You know what a narrow base horse is?
A percheron.
Babe is narrow base. See how the rear feet go like almost the same spot? Get up there.
That's for
Staying in the furrow.
stay in the furrow. Well, if you're plowing acreage, it's pretty handy.
We're going to put it in the middle, see what happens. Get up there. Get there.
As you can see, Paul's tire repair is starting to deteriorate. And there it goes.
Sounded like a tire.
Thankfully, Rocky and Babe responded well to that and were able to be held under control because of their trust in Paul and because they're just genuinely good horses. We were able to limp the manure spreader back to the barn, and even though everything didn't go quite as planned, we still ended on a win. Once we got back to the barn, we took a look at Rocky's rear feet. Rocky hadn't really been handled too much as far as hoof picking, and I'm sure his farrier visits were usually done in stocks way back when. So we're trying to get him gentled up to pick up his hooves a little bit better. But Paul's still a little bit nervous because he's only had the horse a few months, and he's just not natural at lifting hooves for his owner.
Right.
So here we are working on it.
Yep, put it right down. Start with the front.
Oh, good. You might be impatient, though.
No, well, hold on. I think you gotta, see, you just walked up to him and just grabbed it here.
I always like to start my interactions by checking in with the horse, checking the position of the ears, and then just making sure that they're receptive to my interactions.
That's my good boy. That's my good boy. That's my good boy.
Good going, Rocky. I wouldn't get near his rear feet, though.
Are you gonna be a good boy for me again?
I don't know.
For me again? Ready? That's good.
Wow, Rocky, good job.
That's my good boy. That's my good boy. That's my good boy. You wanna try?
No.
So get his attention. Talk to him. Now, Paul, he's gearing up to boot. Start with the front leg. Tell him he's a good boy. Ask him for it. Rub his back hock and say up.
Up, good boy.
And as always, heaps of praise, but baby steps. I like to pick up my horse's hooves every time I grain them, every time I interact with them, especially when they're young. That way, they just get desensitized to it to the point where it's no trouble.
Hey folks, Josh here, and with the holidays right around the corner, we just wanted to remind you that we're offering wood-fired, organic, pure Vermont maple syrup. In addition to the maple syrup, we also got this new swag, beautiful sweatshirts, t-shirts, long sleeve t-shirts, men's cut, women's cut, featuring the beautiful Hugo and Hildy here in a forest logging scene. And also, as you're perusing the website, you'll notice that we offer really cost-effective maple syrup by the case. So you can knock 6 people off your list really easily with a case of quarts, and 12 people off your list just like that with a case of half pints. So our small organic farm would really appreciate your support. You can head on over to ruggedridgeforest.com. Thank you all and have a wonderful holiday season.